You've been picked up, Joivan, by Hollywood, which is fantastically exciting.
Very exciting. Did my first Hollywood project, which is the First Purge, which is the fourth of the franchise, but it's the first film.
Yeah.
So, I keep getting, I have to watch all four. No, you don't, because this is actually the first movie. And it's actually a predominantly black cast as well. I think, of the recent success of stuff like Black Panther and Get Out, and, there's been a real shift when it comes to trusting more black actors on screen. And I got the privilege of being able to play a lead in this film.
Let's just major on that sentence, trusting more black actors. How ridiculous is that? Trusting black actors?
Yeah.
You can act.
Exactly.
What else do you need to do?
But it's about, okay, you can act, but is it going to sell?
Yeah.
Is it going to, are people going to come?
Trusting the audience.
Yeah, trusting the audience.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's about. And Black Panther has proved over $1 billion, I think, worldwide.
Exactly.
Good film's a good film.
There you go, right?
My character, I played a character called Isaiah, and he's basically your eyes through the purge,
Yeah.
And a lot of the film, it's the purge. So, he's out by himself and he's on this journey of being a part of the purge. And so there's
what is the purge? I'm not familiar, I apologise.
So the purge is the one day of the year in the US where there are no rules. Yeah, so you can kill, you can steal, you can do anything. And the government believe that it's the opportunity that if they give us this day where we can purge, that the rest of the year will have a lot less crime, a lot less, people.
It's like New Year's Eve.
It's hard. It's like every day for the Wright Stuff. Honestly,
you are talking about a fictional situation, aren't you? Or have I missed something?
Definitely.
Definitely.
I was going to say that.
It's America, you never know.
The law is being broken right now, absolutely, Christine. How did this come about? Because, going from working at Top Man and Croydon to EastEnders to with all those stars that we all know and love to suddenly Hollywood, I mean, I'm going to say it again, that's super exciting.
Yeah, man, thank you. It's I after kind of doing a few roles in the UK, the EastEnders, the Doctor Who's, and the comedy shows, it kind of got to the place where I was just thinking, it feels like I'm being capped in a sense where if you want to be internationally known, if they're not going to have the right projects in the UK for me to do, then how am I going to be able to, put myself in that place? So.
But then do you get the feeling that all English language movies and TV's going that way anyway? Because we can all watch Netflix and we can watch Amazon and there's lots of other things as well. It's all becoming global now anyway, right?
Yeah, but that's due to the distribution platforms. If it's not on those platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc., then you don't. So I kind of took the knack and said, I'm going to go to the US. So 2 years ago, I decided to do that.
Yeah. Do you live there?
No, I'm still living in the UK, but I spend so much time there. It's kind of like back and forth over the last 2 years. I've probably been there around 7-8 months.
Yeah.
Got a manager out there and came back to London and was just self-taping for about a year. And one of those happened to be The Purge, and they flew me out and did the screen test and booked it. And yeah, man, it was...
Loving it. Yeah. I'm loving the drive. I think it's brilliant. Nihal's got a question for you.
Yeah, I'm interested in, we hear a lot in this country about, people coming over here, taking our jobs. The African-American actors, do they think that about... There are so many black British actors going out to America and getting these big roles. Yep. And African-Americans have been there for, hundreds of years. They must be thinking... Dude, really?
Yeah,
Can you just stay in Blighty and not come over here, bro?
And it's a big deal. Like, I went to an audition once, and in the audition, when we go in as an actor, we stay within our accent because we don't want to give the producer or casting director an opportunity to say, "Oh, I can hear your accent." So I've gone into the casting, and a bunch of black American actors are talking about that very subject, and it was about Daniel Kaluuya and Get Out. And, they go into this whole conversation about the fact that British guys are taking their roles, and I'm sitting there listening to this conversation.
Awkward.
And, like when I've checked in as an American. So I'm like, it was going on, and, I'm doing my New York accent, and then listen to the conversation, and they've looked at me and they've kind of got me to kind of chime in, and I'm just kind of sitting there like...
Oh.
Yeah, like that's what's up, man. Yeah, like, all these guys are taking our roles and stuff. It's crazy.
That's so good. That's so good.
And they didn't spot it. They didn't spot it at all.
No, they didn't spot it.
Wow.
And if they spotted it, then it'd be a horrible movie. Because,
exactly.
But
they're going to feel cheated when they rumble you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that happened at the end of set. We filmed for about 3.5-4 months. And I stayed in my American accent the whole time.
Wow.
And the day that we wrapped, like,
Even when you turn up in the morning?
Yeah.
They didn't know?
The only people that knew were my co-stars because we go out to eat and stuff where they hear me on the phone to my mum, my brothers.
That's brilliant.
And then we wrapped and I went into this, I then went into my actual accent.
You did an amazing British accent for them.
That's what they thought. They was like,
what they thought?
like, dude, it's you got a phenomenal British accent, man. What's going on? And it was like trying to then convince them that no, I'm British, and they just felt betrayed. They felt
Wow,
betrayed.
that's a great accent you've got there. That's a great accent.
In the break, can you coach Storm on her English accent? Oh, needs a bit of work.
That's outrageous.
Nicola obviously mixes with a lot of famous people, a lot of celebrities, but I know she's got a question for you about that.
So you've just said that you spend a lot of time in America. Have you ever met anyone that's, apart from everyone on this panel, of course, that you've been really starstruck by?
Yeah, I've had the three most starstrucking people would be Will Smith, Kevin Hart, and Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
Rock.
I'll take them.
Yeah.
Who was the nicest?
The nicest, probably Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Probably Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, he was a nice, and I felt like he was going to be a lot less nice due to what happened. I did an interview with him, so for my comedy platform, and he's got this whole thing, this phrase, "It doesn't matter what your name is," right? And as a childhood fan and just watching wrestling, it's been my dream to be able to say that back to him. So when I did this interview, I literally said to him at the end of the interview, Dwayne, what did you think about, working with Kevin? How was that experience? And as he goes to answer that question, it doesn't matter how it was working with Kevin Hart. And he just looked, he was just so shocked. Like, it's on YouTube now. It's like his eyes popped open. It was mental. And he forgave me for it. So I was like,
thank God, because he could have crushed you.
He could have crushed me with his baby finger.